You called me, Price, remember? So whose print was on the cufflink box? No, I don't care about protocol. Somebody planted my cufflink in 84's room to make it look like I killed him. And that print says who? Yeah. No. No, hey, you listen to me. Unless you want your picture plastered on tomorrow's Sun with the headline stating that you had some on-the-job transgressions with some of the working girls in lockup, then you give me a name.
Do you love your son, Miss Salinger?
Of course. More than anything in the world.
Then why would you let him take the fall for a murder you committed?
What are you doing?
Order.
Answer the question, Miss Salinger.
I said order. The witness will not answer the question. Miss Delgado, this is a sentencing hearing, not a trial. The accused has entered his plea, and it was guilty. We're done here.
No, we're not, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
Begging the court's pardon, Your Honor. I do not believe that my client is guilty. And I am not the only one.
I don't care what anyone thinks. I killed Eddie. I confessed.
I don't believe that confession for a second, Your Honor.
That may be, but the time for arguing facts is over.
A boy's life hangs in the balance, Your Honor.
Your client's life. And if he wants to plead guilty, he can plead guilty.
Even if it means subverting the justice system? I believe that Nate Salinger was compelled to claim responsibility for killing Eddie Ford as a means of protecting the person he knows is truly responsible, his mother. And I intend to prove it.
Ms. Delgado, you are skating dangerously close to a contempt charge.
Your Honor, with all due respect, the only person here with contempt for this proceeding is Inez Salinger. She is sitting idly by while her son mortgages his future to pay for hers.
That is enough.
Ms. Delgado.
How could you let your son spend the prime years of his life behind bars for a murder you committed?
Your Honor, please do something.
Bailiff, Ms. Delgado, you are...
Wait, Your Honor, wait. I actually would be very interested to hear what Miss Salinger has to say.
How crazy.
Other people have no objection to this line of questioning.
Well, I'm afraid I do, Miss Buchanan. Miss Salinger is here to speak to her son's character, not to implicate herself in a crime he's confessed to committing.
Well, that may be so, but if Miss Delgado feels that there's a cover-up at work, isn't it in the Commonwealth's best interest to sort it all out before consigning a teenager to prison?
Miss Salinger, if you love your son like you say that you do, that you will not allow...
Excuse me.
Mr. Manning, I've already warned you not to interrupt these proceedings.
Yeah, I know, but this can't wait.
No, it can wait. Ms. Salinger was just about to tell us how she murdered her ex-husband.
No, she's not. She had nothing to do with it. This kid, on the other hand, is guilty as sin.
Dad, stop. Nate didn't do anything.
I know, I'm sorry, Dani. I thought he was innocent too, but it turns out we just scratched the surface of his little crime spree.
Your Honor, the defense respectfully requests that Mr. Manning be ejected from the courtroom and confined to a cell for defying a direct order from the bench.
I've got half a mind to send you with him.
No, I'm not going anywhere until you've heard this.
Todd, listen to
Your Honor, someone planted a cufflink of mine at the scene of the crime to make it look like I killed Eddie Ford. The LPD dusted the box in which the cufflink came, and guess whose prints were all over it? You set me up.
Nate Salinger.
Your Honor, it's not true. Nate would never frame my dad. Tell them. What are you waiting for? Tell them.
I can't.
Why not?
Because I did it, Dani. I framed Mr. Manning.
Mr. Manning's claim is legitimate. Forensics found Nate Salinger's print on the cufflink box.
You believe me now?
I don't understand. How could you do that?
Your Honor, I would like to request a recess to consult with my client.
I have no objection, Your Honor.
Well, believe it or not, I do. I'm not going to prolong this circus any longer. We're here to determine Mr. Salinger's sentencing, and I have more than enough information to render my decision.
Your Honor, if I could beg the court's indulgence just one more time. It is clear that there are extenuating circumstances in this case, and it is only fair that you hear those before sentencing.
Your Honor, I would be interested in hearing them.
Very well. The bailiff will swear in Mr. Salinger, and he'll tell us in his own words exactly what happened on the night of Edward Ford's death.
It was the night Eddie was supposed to fight my brother Ford at Rourke's gym. Eddie agreed to leave town if he lost, but he backed out at the last minute. He kept talking about how he wasn't going to leave town. Then he said some threatening things about my mom and Dani.
Wow, no wonder your wife left you. You're pathetic.
Just wait your turn, little Miss Sugar Lips. You're next.
I couldn't just sit around and wait for him to do something to them. So I came up with a plan.
I want him gone, Dani. Just like press a button and edit him out of the movie.
Too bad life doesn't really work like that.
Maybe it does. When I took Dani home that night, I snuck into her parents' bedroom. They were out. So I opened all the dresser drawers and dumped their jewelry and watches into my bag. I said goodbye to Dani and I left.
Was any of that other stuff missing?
What did you hope to accomplish taking these items?
I'd seen it in movies. You plant something on someone and you call in a tip to the police and they get arrested. I figured Eddie would go to jail and you and Mr. Manning would get your things back.
But that's not what happened, is it?
No.
Tell us what happened.
I killed Eddie.
I don't understand. You had a plan to deal with Eddie, but instead you killed him. Why?
By the time I got to the motel, I realized my plan wasn't going to work. I mean, look at all the stuff that Eddie got away with that he actually did. The only way I could protect the people I care about was to kill him.
Okay, so take us through it, step by step. How'd you kill him?
I went to the motel.
How'd you break in?
I didn't. It was unlocked.
Oh, so you just went in? How could you be sure that he wasn't there?
I listened. There wasn't a sound. He was asleep. And then I went in. I saw the gun. I took it and I shot him.
But wait. Eddie Ford wasn't found murdered in his bed. He was on the floor.
He must have rolled off.
But then he would have rolled to the side of the bed on the floor. He was found at the foot of the bed.
Well, it happened so fast. There's no way I can explain
Well,
it.
I can explain it. I can explain it because when you walked into the room, you saw that someone else had beat you to the punch. You couldn't have killed your father. You couldn't have because when you walked in, Eddie Ford was already dead. You saw the body and that was it.
No, that's not true.
No, that is the truth. You're lying. You're lying in a court of law and there are circumstances.
You're right, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't do it.
Mr. Salinger, why don't you tell us what really happened?
I went to Eddie's motel room. I was supposed to go in and drop off the stuff and leave. It should have been that easy. Door was unlocked. I thought he was asleep.
But he wasn't, was he?
No. He was lying on the floor. I just froze. There was so much blood. I dropped my bag. That must have been when the cufflink rolled out.
You got what you deserved.
It took me a second to get it together. I couldn't even think. I just knew that I had to get out of there. Somehow, I remembered to grab my bag. I didn't have time to think, so I ran. Later, when I went to take Dani to school, I snuck back into your bedroom and I tried to return the things that I took. I just tried to frame Eddie. I almost framed Mr. Manning instead.
I'm sure Mr. Manning appreciates his name being cleared. And I'm sure there are other people in this courtroom who are relieved to hear that you are innocent. But, Mr. Salinger, there is still one question that I need answered. Why did you say you killed Eddie Ford when you didn't? Now you need to explain to the court why you confessed to a murder you didn't commit. Why take the blame? Is it because you knew who had committed the murder and that you were trying to protect that person?
Miss Delgado, I think I've heard enough. Counsel, in my chambers.
When the murder weapon was found in your mother's apartment, that's when you realized it, wasn't it? That's when you realized the truth, that your mother had killed your father, and that's when you concocted your story.
Miss Delgado.
The truth will come out sooner or later. You cannot protect her anymore. Just admit it. The truth is that the only reason you're here today is to try to save your mother.
Yes! You're right. He did it to save her.
Right. The sentencing of